In our last lesson, we learned about the endogenic and the exogenic forces, right? So what are endogenic forces? The forces that take place inside the earth, right? Suppose this is the earth, the actions and the forces that take place inside the earth are known as the endogenic, that is inside the earth. Endogenic means inside and exogenic means outside, okay? So in this chapter we will learn about the exogenic forces. What are the exogenic forces that takes place on the surface of the earth, that is above the earth where we live, okay? From here we will start our changing earth 2. In the previous chapter we learned about the exogenic processes takes place. So basically exogenic processes takes place through weathering and gradation. Okay, now what is weathering? So you know about wind, then floods, right? Then rivers. All this what they do. When wind blow, then they transform the sand particles from one place to other. Yes or no? The wind used to move the sand or the soil from one place to another, and that leads to what? Sometimes that suppose this is the land, okay? This is also a portion of land I'm giving it. So weathering doesn't take, wind action doesn't take only in small area, right? It takes in a very large area, that is over a big district or over a big mountainous areas, village, anything else, or in a state, okay? So suppose these are the two land areas. When wind blowing, movement of wind take place, then sometimes this soil used to go that side and used to get deposit over there. The soil raise up here, right? And in here the soil becomes lower. The level of the soil or the level of the land will go down, yes or no? And this leveling of the land is known as the gradation, okay? Weathering means the various actions like wind, floods. Floods also used to transform a portion of land from one place to another, okay? So weathering means the wind, then floods, rivers, this all together are known as weathering actions, okay? And leveling the land, that is higher or lower, is known as gradation, okay? I hope you understood this, what is weathering and gradation. These are the two main exogenic processes which lead to changes on the surface of the earth, such as breaking up of rocks or formation of landforms. As I told you, land becomes high in size and sometimes they get lower, the land get lower, okay? So these all things are given here. And by this way only, what are formed? The mountains are formed, then plateaus are formed, then rocks are formed. All these are formed because of the wind, flood, rivers, then precipitation means rainfall. Okay, so all this we can see altogether are known as the exogenic processes that take place on the surface of the earth. Okay, have you understood now? So from here we will start what is weathering. Weathering refers to the process of breaking down of rocks on surface into smaller particles. So weathering means the sand particles or rocks particle become smaller in size so that the wind can blow them in a very smooth way, so that they can become smaller in size and they can transfer to other places. That's why different actions takes place and then used to break down the rocks into smaller size. And what are they? They are temperature, that is high, humidity, hot. Temperature means hot, cold or hot. Temperature means, as you know, temperature means the increase or decrease of the level of hotness or coldness, then it is known as the temperature. So when the temperature is high, then it is hot, and when the temperature is low, then it is cold, right? As you know, this is temperature. And humidity means the water present in the air is known as humidity, okay? As you feel in hot days, your skin always used to remain moisture, right? Your skin always has the moisture because of the warm weather, that is hot weather. And in cold days what happen, we used to put on cream on our hand because it becomes very dry. So that is because of the water present in the air, and that is known as humidity. Okay, then rainfall and wind. So these are the agents of weathering. All this leads to the breaking of rocks, and that helps in transforming from one place to another. Okay, so if you will read this, then you will know. Weathering is slow process. When the planet rock breaks down, its pieces remain at the same side. They are not carried away from the side. So as you know, so you can see this chart. Exogenic processes are basically of two types, that is weathering. In weathering, these things will come under weathering, and we will go in detail when we will go further. Okay, so for now you see the diagram. Then types of weathering. As you learn that weathering means the breaking down of big rocks into small particles, and different types of agents such as wind, floods, rainwater, they used to transform these rocks into from one place to another, right? So how these things occur? These things occur through physical weathering. They are of two types. Okay, weathering are of they are of three types. They are physical, chemical, and biological. Physical are like rain, rivers, then floods, wind. All this comes under physical. Chemical comes under, like sometimes some chemicals used to like carbon dioxide, oxygen used to break down the rocks, then they are known as the chemical weathering. And biological means when human beings or animals have the contribution to break down the rocks, then it is known as biological weathering. Okay, now physical weathering. What is physical weathering? Physical weathering means when rocks break down as a result of physical processes like temperature, wind. Precipitation means the rain, and frost means when the temperature is very low, the water get turned into ice particles. Small ice are known as the frost. Okay, so physical weathering is also known as the mechanical weathering. So physical weathering are mainly of three types. They are exfoliation. Now what is exfoliation? We will learn here. Exfoliation means in desert the diurnal range of temperature is very high. Okay, exfoliation means in the desert areas what happen during the daytime, the temperature is very high, and that's why in desert areas we can feel very hot. And what happen at night time, the temperature gradually slow down and it becomes very cold. Okay, so what happen at night when the temperature become cold, then the rocks used to get contracted. That means the rock used to get very tight. And during the daytime what they become, because of high humidity, that is hotness, they used to get bigger in size. And this going down smaller in size and again going down again becoming bigger in size, then contracting and expanding. This is known as, when they come closer to each other they are known as contracting, and when they go away from each other then it is known as expanding. So contracting and expanding leads to breaking down of rocks, and that is the way in the desert areas the rocks used to get break down, and that form is known as the exfoliation. Okay, you can read here, you can know here. If you will read, then you will learn. Okay, in the desert the diurnal day range of the temperature is very high, with temperature during the day rising above and dropping to 0 degrees Celsius, right? 50 degrees Celsius is very high. As you check your weather conditions every day, so now it is very hot, right? Now the temperature is nearly about, now it is very hot, right? So now temperature is 41 or 42 degrees Celsius now. So during the daytime we feel 40, it goes to 43 or 44. Okay, so it is so hot, you can feel, right? Then how much will be 50 degrees Celsius? It will be very high, yes or no? Then again 0 degrees Celsius is very low, temperature. So very high and very low, there are huge difference. So because of changes in temperature, the rocks get break down over time, and this leads to the breaking of rocks in the desert areas. Okay, have you understood the exfoliation means? Expanding and contracting of rocks in the desert areas is known as the exfoliation. Okay, then next come wind action. Wind action means, as I told you, the sand particles are carried away from one area to another area. Then this is known as the wind action. Sometimes the wind used to blow over the lower portions and the wind don't blow over the higher areas. So what did they do? The wind used to break down the rocks of the lower areas, and the higher areas rocks remain still. Okay, so by some phases of time, after some time, we can see that the rocks of the lower portion become thinner in size. Okay, and the higher portion remain as they were earlier. So this is because the wind only blew over the lower portion, and then they don't blow over the higher upper portions. Okay, that is the result of the wind actions in the desert areas. Then next, frost action. Frost means the ice become small, the water turns into ice is known as frost. So what happens? How the rocks breaks down due to frost action. Okay, so there are some areas, there are some regions where there are big rocks. So what happened? During the daytimes near the sea areas, okay, these are near the sea areas, or like places like Antarctica and all. What happened? There are big rocks, and sometimes at daytime, as you know, the temperature is very high. That's why all the ice turns into water. Okay, during the daytime the ice turns into water, and that water used to go inside the rocks. And at night time, as the temperature is very low, yes, the temperature goes very low, it is 0 degrees Celsius. That's why the temperature becomes very cold, and that leads to that water go inside the rocks, yes or no? And that water that goes inside the rocks turn into ice, and that going of water inside the rocks and turning into ice leads to expand the rocks, and they get breakdown. Okay, if you will read this, then you will understand it more clearly. Then chemical weathering means, I'll explain you. Chemical weathering means in rain, when rain comes over some areas, in some areas when rain comes, then in rain the carbon dioxide is present. Okay, and in that rain carbon dioxide and oxygen is also present in rain. Okay, when this carbon dioxide present in the rain falls into the rocks, then the limestone rocks used to get, they form into chemical changes, and sometimes the rocks used to get breakdown because of the mixing of chemicals like limestone and carbon dioxide. When they get mixed together, then they breaks the rocks. And again, there are some rocks containing iron. Okay, the limestone rocks used to get breakdown because of carbon dioxide. And again, some rocks there are containing iron. So from where we get iron and all, we get iron materials from the rocks, as you know this. So the iron containing rocks sometimes used to get breakdown. How? The oxygen present in the rainwater, when the rain falls on that iron containing rocks, the iron containing rocks used to get breakdown. And these things, if you read this paragraph, then you will learn. Okay, so it is given very clearly. What I told, everything is written here. Okay, so it will not be difficult for you to understand. Rainwater also contains dissolved oxygen, which breaks down iron containing rocks when it comes into contact with them. So when rainwater having oxygen falls on the iron containing rocks, they used to get breakdown. When they come in contact with each other, the iron and oxygen, when they get mixed up, then that leads to the breaking down of rocks. Okay, so we learned about physical weathering and chemical weathering. Then next comes the biological weathering. This is the last, and next day I shall explain the gradation. From gradation I will explain it next day. Okay, for today I shall finish here, that is biological weathering. So as you know, people used to do mining and mining activities, coal activities, right? So by doing such kind of activities, the rocks we used to break down the rocks. We also break down rocks for construction of roads and all, yes or no, for construction of buildings. So these are human activities. So that's why this is known as, the human activities comes under the biological weathering, that is human break down the rocks. Then again, some animals like rats, lichens, mosses, they used to make their home, right, under the rocks. So they used to cut down the rocks with the help of their teeth, and that also leads to breakdown of rocks. And that kind of breaking down of rocks, or that kind of weathering, is done by lichens, mosses, and other animals, also come under biological weathering. And again, biology, the trees also come under biology. Okay, trees and plants, how they break down the rocks. Sometimes the roots get inside the rocks, and that rocks used to get break down because of the roots go inside the rocks used to get break down, and that breaking down of rocks by plants and animals also come under the biological weathering. Okay, so biological weathering can be done mainly by human being used to do weathering of rocks. Human beings break down rocks, right? So weathering means weathering means breaking down of rocks. Okay, what is mean by weathering, it will come answer a question. If it will arise in your mind, then you can think it like that weathering means the breaking down of rocks, and this breaking down of rocks are done by various processes, as you got here, as I explained you, right? So all these things are given it very clearly. If you read the lesson, then you will understand it. Okay, so tomorrow I will start from gradation and agents of gradation. All this thing I will explain tomorrow. I will take 2 more days to finish this chapter. Then again only 1 chapter is left. So within 10 days we will finish everything. Okay, so this is enough for today. You read the lesson and also follow me up. Next day I will. Okay, again only after 2 days I will finish everything. Okay, within 2 days I will finish everything I will give you. Then I will start the next lesson, and the state government will take only 2 days to finish. That is not so big. The lesson is not so big, so I can finish it in 2 days. So within 10 days we will complete the syllabus. Okay, after that I will take 1 test. So this is enough for today. We will meet in the next class.